I always ask everybody who comes for a lesson what they feel their problems are and what they'd like to achieve in the lesson, what's going to make a difference to the game. And I often get a list of requests, but also a list of swing faults that they perceive they possess, almost like a label almost. It's like it can be, we almost categorise ourselves, but some of these golfing labels, jargon, do have meaning, they do have context, and one of the biggest ones that I hear is over the top. Now, over the top of what is a good question, but we kind of know if we talk about a swing arc and we talk about an inclined arc to the golf ball, dare I say it swing plane, because I'm very aware there is, and I'm very kind of conscious that there isn't really a plane, that it's a very changeable arc, but there is some planar activity going on within certain acceptable parameters. But over the top is a very easy to see movement where a player's doing this. And that's what's been labelled over the top. Well, it's really the player's hitting mechanism. It's that golfer's way of striking the golf ball. There's nothing to fix. It's just that player's sense of orientation to the golf ball. It just needs a reorganisation. The body's GPS system relative to where the ball is and relative to the shot they intend to play is all a bit distorted. We've got to join the dots. So it's not about trying to fix a problem, because there isn't one. Well, it's certainly not an over the top. It's not a particular swing movement. That's just the body's solution to much deeper reasons. There's different variables at play here, which we're not attuning ourselves to through a clear intention, understanding, often conceptualization of what we intend to do. But what I'm going to show you today is a reorganizational exercise. We're going to challenge the body, because that's what my lessons are all about. They're about challenging you to explore your potential that's previously unexplored or untapped, or it's not being experienced. It's just capability that's there. Often it presents itself. We often hit a great shot, but we've got no idea how it happened and no ability to recreate it, even though we try. But we try by using other means or methods. We try now consciously to reproduce something, when actually that amazing shot you produced was subconscious. So we're actually developing our awareness for how our subconscious operates. And so consciously we can focus on our intention, a golf shot, even recognizing movement. There's intention behind movement, but we're allowing ourselves to function dynamically. We're allowing the body to do it. And we've got to trust the body's GPS system. It knows where we are. Its proprioceptive system and its ability to move and maintain balance is ever present. So you don't have to try and second guess it. You don't have to try and instruct the body how to move. We've got to present it with a challenge. And this is a great challenge, and it's one that I'm sure you're going to enjoy. It is really tricky at first if you've not tried anything like this. What we're going to do is we're going to take you into a place. If you're an over-the-top swinger, say, or whatever you want to call it, but the golf club's moving out and it's moving back in towards the golf ball. So you might get pulls, you might get slicers, because this generally creates a path to the left. If the face closes to the path, you pull in. If the face stays slightly open, obviously it starts fairly straight, but then it's slicing. So we end up with pulls and slicers. And inconsistency in strike, inconsistency in launch, in that trajectory, because we come in steep into the golf shot, across the golf ball, and then the body has to somehow try and put some loft on it, and it's a hard release pattern to reproduce consistently. And so we get some serious inconsistency in our play. Well, what we're going to do is explore the opposite by starting in the place we don't want to be. Now, your body is going to work this out automatically. And that's what we want in a golf swing. We want automaticity. We want to trust that autonomous nature of behind our movement. We've got to allow the body to organise itself organically around the constraints, and we're going to seriously constrain it, because we're going to start in that place that you would dread to be, an open club face, i.e. we're going to extend that lead wrist. So in old money, it's cupped, okay? It's a cupped lead wrist. which adds loft, okay, and gives us that kind of look at the top of the swing. I'm not saying it's good or bad. We're just going to go into a place that is often a place where we don't want to go, because we know that this, especially if we're trying to play a shot, a functional shot down the middle, a draw or a fade, we don't want big slices and pulls. This is probably not a place you want to be visiting with a wide open face, so far away from the body, moving across the golf ball on a steep angle of attack. It's fraught with danger. But we're going to start there. We're going to start with extension in the lead wrist, and we're going to move the club. We're going to move it over here. We're going to move it into a place that's kind of halfway back in the swing, kind of hip height, waist height, so you can make a half swing and then you can swing the club out in front of you, and that's going to extend the wrist. That's going to cup that lead wrist. And this face now has got loads of loft on it, and it's well out in front. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just raise it slightly. So I'm going to just cock the wrist, okay? That's radial deviation there. I'm just cocking it up, cocking the wrist, 45 degrees say. I'm in a place now where it feels nigh on impossible to hit this golf ball. But guess what? You're going to do it, and you're going to do it really well, because from here, the body's going to find its own way. It's going to reorganize itself, and it's going to do a lot of things that you probably thought you couldn't do and you've never experienced. So, for example, here I'm going to swing it back halfway, let my body rotate, and now I'm just going to swing the club out in front, just with my wrists, so my hands are staying there in place, just swinging it across and lifting it up. And how the hell am I going to get this now back to the ball? But we somehow find the ball. Now that was a top shot. Not that bothered. Going to go again. You are going to find, after a few shots, a way of making contact and hitting a golf shot. And you are not going to believe what this looks like from a down the line angle. You're going to start to see a lot of stuff going on. And as you hit more shots, I mean, that's only 3 shots, and I've made good contact with the golf ball out the middle of the face. You're going to, and this is, look at the lie here, there's no grass on this lie. And what you're going to find is the body, straight away from here, swings the club back and starts to reroute, reorganise, redirect, however you want to frame it, in the complete opposite direction. It goes from extended lead wrist into flexed. It goes from out in front to behind. It goes from loaded on the right side to a shift to the lead side. It goes to a rotation from the ground, rotating the body as the club swings back. All these things that we really want in a golf swing start to happen. And I'm like, it's perfect draw. And I'm moving in a way that is so dynamic and unusual. But yet when you look on the video, if you were to just take the motion from that redirection, you're going to see some really functional patterns. And I say functional in terms of how we want to deliver a golf club to the golf ball, because we've got to hit it with a descending blow to get a strike on the golf ball, to de-loft it, to get a low launch, to get a low spin, to get some distance, to get compression, to get ball speed. We've got all these factors naturally happening. Make sure it's at 45. Make sure it's at 45 or roughly there or thereabouts. Cupped in that wrist, and straight away you're going to see it starts to change. You're going to see a lot of stuff going on. The body starts to rotate. The club, the swing weight, falls in behind the pivot. It drops in as the body rotates. You're creating that stretch, for that elastic recoil. And all the while, those impact factors are taking care of themselves. And the body knows how to do this. You've just got to give it a chance. And by doing this exercise, compromising it, creating these really tricky constraints, the body knows how to organise itself, to get you out of that place, but it's doing it in a functional way. So I suggest you video your golf swing doing this. Use a T-peg if you want at first, and just notice where the body wants to go. It doesn't want to do this. So we've put it into the place where we perceive it to be, yeah, look, this is dysfunctional in terms of how do we possibly square a face up, get that face anywhere near square with a path that's functional. It's like, this is disaster zone. But the body takes you straight out of that place into a functional zone. And now stuff starts to happen automatically. So we're there, ready to go. And I can't hit it better than that. That was ball turf, perfect strike, great launch, bit of draw. Absolutely A1. And you know what? I couldn't tell you how I did it. My body did it. I can look at the video and we can slow-mo that down and look at it and it'll look fantastic. But I don't know how I did it. But how do I repeat this? Well, I keep doing it. It's experiential. I have to keep taking myself into that place and allow myself to just explore playing shots with it. And then make a normal swing. Start to feel what it's like to move straight into these places that are going to allow that to happen naturally. Just making easy 3/4 swings, similar to what I was doing with the exercise. And all I'm doing now is I'm just allowing myself to swing the golf club into that space to allow my body to use these patterns I've been training. Because this is all about pattern recognition. And how do you recognise them? Well, you've got to keep doing them. You've got to keep challenging yourself and then interleaving this with other challenges. So now I'm going to make a swing where I want to hit the ball lower. So that means I'm going to probably go more lead side. I want to play a draw too, so I'm going to swing a bit more to the right. This is encouraging me to take this club into a space that I've visited before through the previous exercise where I had to adapt in the moment to those constraints to get a strike on the ball. But I'm making life easier for myself now. I'm actually taking myself into a place where I don't need to make all these excessive adjustments, adaptations, because I can let my body just start to function naturally. And that did feel very different, to be honest. I've got to say, I felt later with the club, I started to feel trace elements of this exercise, and I'm starting to already feel features of the movement that I was experiencing with the exercise, but at speed, at a slower speed, but it's a 150-yard shot I'm hitting roughly into the breeze. I'm getting it's a golf shot. My body is feeling, it's experiencing contact with the ball. That's important with exercises, that we play shots with ball contact. The body's got to feel the ball, because striking the ball it's an event that is part of the motion. So it has to exist in your practice. Otherwise, if you're practicing without a golf ball, when you go to the golf ball, you've got new stimulus, and that's a new constraint, and that is a whole new program, motor program. It's a different task. There's a ball. But if you've got the ball there and you're challenging yourself at this very extreme level, this is a high challenge point, and the body is so able to organise itself, you're tapping into that subconscious reaction. And if you keep doing it and then start to just bring in normal swings, you're going to start to sense things about the motion which enable you to almost anchor these feelings to, attaching these feelings to this motion through the awareness of doing it. And these become cues, these become things that might happen in a practice, kind of a waggle or a practice swing. You might start to feel these movements. You could even use a mini version of it. Hold the club out there, extend the lead wrist, add a bit of wrist hinge, and just have a little shot. Imagine you're playing a shot. Have a little practice swing in the rough. And then follow through. And then go into a shot. So you're striking a ball, you're doing it at a comfortable kind of speed that you can recognise because the tempo's not too high. You can feel what's going on, but you're striking a ball. Then bring in the exercise again. And don't be distracted by not striking the golf ball particularly well, because you're setting a high challenge point here. And because we're so able to do it, we almost expect it. But it's a serious challenge. Just accept the chaos of it, because you will find your body can do it. Getting better, a bit clean. Gonna hit another one. There we go. Once you've had a bit of success with the exercise, don't just go, right, that's it, I've got it, and make a full swing and almost like grabbing the driver, I've got it. Look, it takes time to create habits. It takes time to reprogram these motor programs. Just allow yourself time. Have another go. And don't be put off by a bad shot, a bad strike. I made contact from a seriously compromised place. Now, I've had 4 or 5 shots. Now I'll probably hit a couple of normal shots. And just play around with the feeling of it. I'm just still hitting like 3/4 shots here. And I'm really starting to explore that feeling of that flexed lead wrist, whilst the club is lagging behind, it's rotating, it's squaring up, and I can release. And it's so much later. And it's just an experience of striking the golf ball with a more flexed wrist. Doesn't mean it's actually in flexion, it can be extending, and the wrist is extending generally as we're striking the golf ball. It's less extended than normal, and that's what I'm experiencing. And it's from probably a more functional place in terms of playing these strong draws that I'm hitting, these strong flighted, low flighted draws. Not the drawing like just a few yards, not big shapes, but strong flight. But I'm just experiencing something different, and that's what practice is for. That's what it's about, experiencing something different, challenging yourself, not trying to repeat the same thing. These movements I'm making, I'm creating a similar pattern, and we don't need to get into the devil of the detail. We don't need to get into these intricacies. The body organises itself, but there's an overall movement pattern that I can sense is taking place. And I can start to feel that in my swing. Just hitting shots, enjoying exploring, and then building it up, and maybe then grabbing a driver and having a driver swing and committing to some full swings, but then going back to the exercise, and as I said, interleaving it with the exercise, with hitting golf balls, and then challenging yourself to different shots. And that's what practice is about. It's about having fun. It's about challenging yourself. And there's no more difficult challenge that I would suggest than trying this exercise. It's seriously going to test your skill level. It's going to test your patience. It's going to possibly frustrate you at the beginning. But guess what? That's what this game does. We've got to challenge ourselves, become resilient. And if we can do that in our practice, it makes us much more capable, it makes us stronger mentally. It makes us more capable. It makes us more resilient. It makes us more adaptable golfers. And that's what it's all about, because ultimately that results in performance. And when we're playing well, we're having fun. And that's what it's all about. So guys, have some fun with this. It's going to test you. It's going to take you to the limits. Feedback in the comments. Let me know how you get on. I'm really intrigued to find out, to get your experience of what you're finding with this exercise. How did you manage to achieve it? What did you feel you were doing? How did it change your awareness of what was going on? How did it improve things? What difference did it make? Let me know. I can't wait to find out. Cheers, guys.